Started. Good day, everyone. It is a pleasure to welcome you all today to our webinar on Accelerate Your Business with Amazon. My name is Tara Palacios, and I have the absolute pleasure to have on the team for today's webinar, Alex Held, Lois Roeder, and Mackenzie Cussett. And we're really looking forward to bringing you this program today because we know that with the current health pandemic that's going on, and as we start to move in different directions and really trying to pivot our businesses, looking at the tools and technology that we have, and how do we continue as a business community to move forward, what do we do? And so we were talking with our friends at AWS and Amazon Business, and there's quite a number of really exciting new tools that are out there that are available to the business community. And we want to make sure during these tough times that folks have access to these resources so that they're able to grow and build their business. And so we're really excited to be bringing you the webinar today. Alex, if you could go to that next slide. Um, we've been working really closely with our friends, and both Lois and Mackenzie bring vast amounts of expertise and experience, and they'll be talking on different ways that your business be able to maximize and to be able to grow your own business. How the session will run today is that Lois is going to do her presentation first. We'll take questions and answers after her presentation, and then we'll hear second from Mackenzie. And then if you have questions specifically for Mackenzie, we'll take questions then. And then we'll also take questions at the end. So you'll be hearing from us, but we also want to make sure that this session is dynamic and that you're getting out the information that you need to successfully grow your business and using some of these new technology and new tools. Alex Held, my colleague, will be moderating the session and will be taking your questions and will be serving to interface. So if there's any questions that you have during, or if you can't hear or can't see a slide, just let us know and we'll be responding. So without further ado, I am going to be listening and hearing from some of these amazing new programs, and we're going to be starting off with Lois. Thank you so much, and I look forward to the presentation.
Thank you. Hey, it's a real pleasure to be speaking to you today. I'm actually coming to you from Austin, Texas. I wish I could be there and see everybody, and obviously I look forward to being able to do that as soon as we're all ready to do that. So what I'll do is I'll get started. I'll take us through the agenda and then get into my presentation. So today we're going to talk about what Amazon Business is. I'm sure most of you know what Amazon is, but maybe not so much about what Amazon Business is. So I'm going to take us through that from both the buy side and the sell side. We'll go through how to sell on Amazon Business, how to scale your business, and then where to find additional resources. I'll also be providing you with an email address at the end. So if you have any additional questions or you want some help, feel free to send an email and I'd be glad to help you out. So go on to the next slide. When we first started Amazon Business, we recognized that we were at the early days of seeing B2B transition online. B2B e-commerce is actually now growing faster than the consumer e-commerce in the US and around the world. This is a really large opportunity, which is $1.8 trillion by 2023. And this was a motivating factor of introducing Amazon Business several years ago. Next slide. We'll go into an introduction of Amazon. And again, it's become a reasonably well-known brand in the US and around the world. And our founder, Jeff Bezos, introduced the mantra that Amazon should be Earth's most customer-centric company. And frequently internally, we talk about working backwards from the customer. So our philosophy is pretty simple. We work backwards from that area to solve a problem. So we start with the problem, the innovation that we're trying to introduce to make the buying experience easier, and we work backwards from there. So Amazon has become a price leader, we've become a selection leader and a convenience leader. And many of us have taken advantage of this, especially as we're now sequestered in our homes. So Amazon has been serving our customers for over 20 years through online buying and fulfillment. About 5 years ago, we recognized an opportunity to serve our business customers with the same type of approach, which enabled us to give business buyers the selection, the pricing, and the convenience that they were interested in. I think if we could go back one slide. So a lot of our consumers were enjoying their buying experience and taking those products to their individual organizations. So in 2015, we introduced the tagline, "Everything you love about Amazon, but for work." When we did that, we knew that we needed to offer different categories of products and things in areas that we weren't really strong in, like MRO, lab and scientific, and healthcare. And we also introduced unique buying features that gave our buying customers business-only pricing, along with introducing a transparent business marketplace. We adapted our fulfillment network to serve the business needs of our customers, and we offer things like palletized shipping, bulk shipping, consolidated shipping, and really have innovated on our customers' behalf over the past 5 years. When we launched, we recognized that we would predominantly be focused on tail spend, and tail spend is really where it's unplanned spend, if you will. It's executed with P cards, and it's largely discretionary type purchases. So our consumer roots made us really uniquely positioned to serve the needs of our customers with their tail spend. But we recognized that we would move further into that planned spend area and become much more of a strategic suppliers. And we've done that. And I'll talk about a couple examples of where that's happening right now. So tail spend is where most businesses have most of their suppliers and the least visibility into where their dollars are going. So by consolidating their tail spend on Amazon Business, the business buyers have improved their visibility. They've been able to effectively analyze where their spend is going, and they've achieved savings as a result. So we've earned trust with our business buyers. And again, we started moving into that more strategic area. So next slide. So by earning that trust with our customers, we've been able to become more than a $10 billion part of Amazon. So the numbers that are released here were released in 2018, which is when our part of the company was 3 years old. So we were a 10 billion part of the organization. We had over 2 million customers and over 200,000 sellers. We're also live in 9 countries. And again, with hundreds of millions of products that have business and quantity pricing available. Next slide, please. So in the United States, we serve 80% of the largest educational institutions, 55 of the Fortune 100, more than 50 of the largest hospital systems, and more than 40% of the 100 most populous local governments. What does all of that mean for you, though? It means that by being on the Amazon Business Marketplace, you have access to all these customers. You immediately can expand your sales reach, you can immediately expand your brand equity, and you can broaden your business without making huge investments. This slide really shows the store. So our store is a store with transparent pricing, and it's an important benefit to our business buyers because they know that they always want to get the best price. And if you look at the circle in the middle, that's where you can see multiple offers on the same item. So again, our buyers know that they're always going to get the best price because we have suppliers that are competing to give them that price. If you look to the right, you can also see that there are some suggested products, and those products are similar, but maybe not exact. And for some buyers, maybe they don't need that exact product. So the similar products can give them even greater value and greater savings. Next slide. This is an example of Amazon's ability to be agile and to respond very, very quickly to prevailing conditions. As highlighted by the COVID-19 supply hub, we were able to bring this together and help to support our frontline workers like our police departments, fire departments, and other departmental government agencies around the US. We saw an overwhelming response to this site, and we're now supporting thousands of buyers with our global supply chain. And we were able to bring PPE to frontline workers from our supply chain around the world. So again, it's a great example of innovation and working backwards from the customer and from the problems that we had at hand. Next slide, please. We also launched a distance learning supply hub to help support school districts around the country who needed things like headsets and webcams and all digital devices to help enable online learning. So we're working with school associations, school districts, and organizations that are supporting those school districts to bring those critical education supplies to our customers. So Business Prime was inspired by our Consumer Prime, which we launched over 10 years ago, and it's now the de facto standard for shipping. So we launched with 2-day shipping, and we now offer 1-day shipping and have layered in other benefits like Amazon Prime Video into this as well. So we're innovating Business Prime as we go forward. Many of our customers want to receive shipments on specific days, and we're able to accommodate that. We also have guided buying, which allows procurement approvers to set up guided buying policies so that they can help their buyers to find the right selection, the right vendors, and really help to guide them to them. Spend analytics provides greater insight into how their consumers are buying on Amazon Business and allow them to analyze that purchasing for budgeting purposes and allows them to extend and increase their overall savings. We also extended various payment terms from invoicing to unique deals to specific volume aware pricing discounts that are available exclusively to the Amazon Business Prime platform. Over time, we're going to add even more value and more features to this, but we've seen an overwhelming amount of support for business from business buyers who've embraced our Business Prime solutions. So managing suppliers is a feature that allows a buyer to easily find and save local or credentialed sellers and add them to their list of saved suppliers. So again, it makes it easier for them to find those sellers. They could search by name. They can apply filters like star ratings, business location, and other features to narrow down their search results. And then once they find them, they can add them to their list of saved suppliers, again, making it easier to learn more about them. They can click into their detail page, learn about them, their business, what they're all about, and really help their buyers to find them and to take the right actions with them. So we were delighted to see Amazon Business called out in our earnings release. This was actually, again, in 2018 when we were just 3 years old. However, we're not resting on our laurels. We know that there's a lot more we can do to innovate on behalf of our business buyers, and that journey is going to continue as we move forward. So let's now pivot and talk about becoming a seller on Amazon Business. So becoming a seller is it's a very easy process. Basically, you go to sell.amazon.com, you register, you create and manage your products, you set and adjust your pricing, manage your orders, and manage your payments. One of the great things about this is that when a customer buys from a selling partner, Amazon automatically remits the money into your account every 14 days. So our partners can view and download all their payments in Seller Central. We also take all the risk, meaning that if a customer buys your product and they don't pay Amazon, Amazon still pays you for that product. We also take care of all of the credit card transaction fees. So our selling partners are also our customers, and we want to delight those sellers with a great experience, and we want to help you to expand your geographical reach and expose your products to millions of new customers. So selling on Amazon and Amazon Business has really been a game changer for many small businesses, and we take a lot of pride in working with you to unlock those opportunities. So there's a few paths to selling on Amazon Business or Amazon. Let me, excuse me, and we'll go back to this. Yeah. If you follow the orange line starting at the top, we call that our retail path. And sometimes it's called a 1P path. That's where you're selling your products to Amazon. This happens primarily with manufacturers with established brands where Amazon purchases the products and we take an inventory position. We become the seller of record. So in this scenario, Amazon is the owner. We set the price, we handle shipping and customer service. And again, it's great for manufacturers or brand owners that want to have a direct relationship with us. You may recognize this when you see an item that is sold and shipped by Amazon on the detail page. Another way is to sell through Amazon. So on the left side, following the blue path, you're selling through Amazon. You are the seller of record on that path. You handle the shipping, you handle the customer service, but you're selling through us. If you take the middle path, the yellow line, you are still selling through Amazon. You are a third-party seller, but you're utilizing our fulfillment by Amazon or our Prime, meaning that your products are in one of our fulfillment centers. You still set your own pricing, but we handle all of the pick, pack, shipping, and as well as customer service. So this is considered a 3P model, and it's a hybrid model where you may see something that is sold by Acme but fulfilled by Amazon. So we give you additional ways that you can enhance your profile. Our diversity certifications allow you to upload any number of certifications, whether they're federal or state certifications, and that allows buyers to find you more easily. There are many, many customers today that are looking to purchase from small, local, diverse sellers, and we definitely want you to be able to upload those certifications and be able to be found. Again, it's a capability that's only available on the Amazon business side. So definitely recommend that you take advantage of that and upload whatever credentials you have. Again, those could be small business certifications, they could be quality certifications. So want you to upload those and allow yourself to be found by the buyers. There's a few additional solutions that are tailored just to our business buyers. And those include things like your ability to offer business pricing. So Amazon Business is built on top of Amazon.com. You're immediately going to be able to sell to both business buyers that have registered business accounts as well as our consumers. And, and you'll be able to have differentiated pricing, meaning that you can offer a discount to a business buyer and offer a different price to a consumer. We also allow you to have up to 5 levels of discount. So you can have quantity discounts. And again, that helps to encourage more purchases by our business buyers. And we allow you to upload enhanced content, meaning that if you have a product that has a CAD drawing or a video, you're able to upload that as well. And again, help your product stand out. Again, on the seller profile page, you can tell a little bit more about your story. So if a customer clicks through on your business name, it tells them more about you. This helps to build trust. And again, by uploading your credentials, it allows you to differentiate yourself from the thousands of other sellers that are on our marketplace. The next is a look at our homepage. So when you're a seller on Amazon Business, you have your Seller Central homepage, and this is really the dashboard into your entire business. So if you look at this page, you can see that this seller is selling into 3 different marketplaces already. So they're probably in the US, Mexico, and Canada. And again, that's with a click of a button that you can sell globally. It also tells them how many orders they have, how many sales in the last 7 days, their balance, and really gives them a great snapshot into their overall business and how it's doing, all in Seller Central. The next slide shows a report that shows you by type of industry who you're selling to. So it breaks it down by commercial, education, government, and you can start to see where you're getting the biggest impact. It also would help you with a marketing strategy. If you wanted to reach out into other areas, you'd be able to quickly look at this report, find out where you're doing well, and maybe adjust your marketing strategy if you were interested in going after other types of business segments or customers. And then we also have tremendous learning resources for you. So Seller University it's available to all of our Amazon business sellers. They are small courses, small meaning that they're 3 to 5 minutes in duration. They will tell you everything that you need to know about how to set up your business, how to start running marketing campaigns. So it gives you all of the information that you need to be successful. And the best thing is that they're short, they're available all the time. You can go back, you can listen to them and take as many courses as you want to help you to understand how to make the most of your online business with Amazon. So they're awesome courses. So the next slide is a quote that we got from one of our selling partners. And Rita is a small woman-owned business in Katy, Texas. And there's a few things in her quote that I think really are amazing. So the first thing is that when she started to sell, she said it was like adding several full-time salespeople, but for a lot less money. This captures a few key elements of our value proposition of selling on Amazon Business, which include the ability to scale into a new e-commerce channel for your business by leveraging an infrastructure which we built at a low barrier to entry. The second is she was able to sell globally without having to invest in a global sales strategy. And again, it supports a core value that Amazon can provide, which is customer acquisition. And third, she was able to work with government, education, and healthcare customers that she wasn't working with earlier. And that underscores that we have a large number of incremental customers who you might not find or who might not find you. So we don't need to alter or disrupt your existing sales channels, but we can supplement your sales channels. Amazon Business is devoid of a lot of the overhead of acquiring customers, a lot of those costs like website hosting, traffic driving initiatives, or anything that you'd have to pay. So we allow you to put your products in front of a large base of business customers that again would be difficult to reach through your own initiatives. Many of our sellers have seen exponential growth, and we take great pride again in helping you open up those new opportunities. So our sellers also have a lot to say about it, Amazon Business, and we're proud of the growth that we've had with them over the last five years. So let's take a look at next steps. So next steps, and I think it goes without saying, is that you need a product to sell. So let's look at the products that you have, review those, make sure you have a great relationship with a supply chain to get your product. So the focus should be on products that a business needs, like IT, MRO, office, lab, and scientific. Those are all in high demand for business customers. Now, if you have some products that are not necessarily business oriented, please still feel free to email me and I'll help to connect you to other groups within Amazon that can help you maybe sell on our consumer site. If you're an artist, we definitely have handmade goods. So there's a lot of opportunities no matter what your products are. The second thing is sign up for a selling account. And also, I should say, sign up for a business account if you don't have one already. And that would be business@amazon.com, or to sign up for a selling account, it's sell.amazon.com. That will allow you to set up a professional selling account. There's a flat fee, a monthly fee that you'll pay for that, and a referral fee in order to sell on our marketplace. Also, upload your credentials. So help the buyers find you. So if you're a small business, woman-owned business, diverse business, please upload that certification and let us help those businesses find you. Obviously, take the Seller University content. So when you register, you'll be able to access all those courses, and we definitely recommend that you do that. And then sign up for additional webinars. And we offer a tremendous number of free webinars. So you don't have to be a registered customer or registered seller to be able to take these. And those can be found on our Small Business Academy website. So with that, I think we have a slide that's got a couple more resources on this. The email address is at the bottom. It's B2B SLC sales at Amazon.com. So it's B2B small local certified sales at Amazon.com. And we welcome your questions and definitely look forward to talking to you. So I think we'll open it up for questions.
Hi, thank you, Lois, for your
Sure.
presentation. This was very great. I wanted to make a note. My name is Alex Held. I'm part of the Biz Lunch team. I work with Tara here. And I wanted to just, I think we had some folks that kind of write a little later, but this program is available on our YouTube channel. It will be recorded and posted, and you can review later. I also want to make sure you all got the handouts that Lois provided. You should be able to download them through the interface on your screen. So check those out. There's some good resources there. One of the questions I had, Lois, and it's more of just a curiosity. The world has really changed, to say it lightly, and people are making purchasing decisions differently. I was curious. Amazon is very in tune to their business data or customer data. And so I was curious, have you seen, you had your projections on a previous slide for, business, purchases and uses. Have you seen with the kind of the change and people teleworking and shifting, have you seen kind of a really abrupt increase or something different? I'm just kind of curious how the health crisis has affected the Amazon business platform. If you
Yeah, I think it's affected everything and in every part of the business, if you will. So, yeah, I think, by virtue of us putting up that COVID website as quickly as we did to help address the needs that our customers had with regards to finding the PPE supply, that really does speak to that. And then also the education learning hub. So, yeah, I think we've seen a tremendous change. And you know, uh, I hope that we can return to the days where we're all going back out and doing what we always did. But for now, I think that we're definitely seeing that huge impact. And just from my own personal experience, ordering things online, has become just a norm. It's just it's part of how I'm operating today, and I would assume it's probably the same in your household and others. So yeah.
know, it's changing. Very good. We had a question from the audience. I think it was about percentage. So if a seller uses fulfilled by Amazon
Yes.
feature, what is kind of the ratio? I guess part of how much does Amazon take as far as a percentage of sales, and how much does the seller actually receive? That kind of um, breakdown. I think.
Yeah, so it's obviously it's based on the size of the product as to how much it costs for us to do the shipping. The
Okay.
good news about all of the Amazon fees is they're all transparent. So if you Googled even fulfillment by Amazon, you'll be able to pull up a fee schedule and see that. And if people have specific questions about, hey, here's the size and weight of my product, I'd like to, know a little bit more, feel free to send me that information and I'll be happy to get you that answer. Um, while you're in Seller Central, you're also able to basically do a comparison to say, hey, if I wanted to use fulfillment by Amazon, what would my fees be? And you're able to compare that right there to the existing fees that you're already paying for your shipping. So it's a great way for you to see if this is a value for you or not. And it's amazing. I think our rates are amazing and our customer satisfaction, as again, I think, thinking about it from your own perspective, if you're looking online, you may actually look for that Prime badge as something that helps you to make that decision that you want to buy it because you're going to get it in 2 days. So, it's there's definitely a huge value to doing it, but the cost comparison can be made directly in Seller Central. And again, I can help you with that as well before you make a decision on whether or not you want to do it.
Gotcha. Okay. And then the other one question I had, well, I had two. One is, I thought it was very interesting. So you mentioned 9 countries that people could potentially sell to
Yeah,
as a small
immediately.
business.
Yes.
That's pretty amazing. And is there certain requirements or certain things that businesses should be aware of when kind of thinking of that and wanting to take advantage of this opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think there are a lot of things to think about. We actually have a whole presentation that's just on our global sales strategy, and can kind of walk you through each one of the markets and talk about the potential, talk about the competition, talk about what type of buyers are there, what our market share is. So if that's of interest, we can actually do an entire presentation just on that. So I think, just off the top of my head, a few things to think about are, if you want to reach an English speaking market, and you don't want to go through any translation services, then looking at Britain, looking at Australia could be 2 good markets that you want to go after. If you're looking for a huge market that doesn't have a huge penetration right now, our Japanese location may be the right one for you to go to. So there's a lot to it, and again, if that's of interest, we can do a whole presentation just on that.
Got you. Understandable. One question from the audience was, do you have to be a manufacturer to sell on Amazon? I.e., is the orange path the desired path, or
No,
are there other options? Okay.
no, actually, 50, I should have said this, of the $10 billion that we have, 58% of that revenue is coming through 3P sellers, small businesses that are selling on Amazon. So it's actually, the majority of it's coming through our small businesses, our resellers. The manufacturing is great. So if you want to do that and you want to, sell it to Amazon, that's great. But really what we're talking about majorly is looking at those small businesses that want to resell their products on Amazon. That's who is doing really well, and that's definitely who I'm interested in helping out.
Okay. And I guess the final final question is, it's not really a question, more of a comment, but I recently saw in the post that the GSA is now using Amazon Business as one of their
Yeah,
platforms. So
right.
for small businesses interested in government contracting, this sounds like a really easy way to just kind of jump right in, if
It
I'm
is.
understanding.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I think about a week and a half ago, we got the award. So Amazon, as well as Fisher Scientific and Overstock, are the 3 that won it. And I believe that right now they're going through a pilot phase. So there's, I think, 6 different agencies that are going to be in the pilot phase. So definitely, I think if you're a small business, if you are a certified small business for sure, whether, again, that's a minority business, a woman-owned business, a veteran, LGBT, then definitely, there's an opportunity for you and customers, beyond the GSA contract, but definitely customers that are looking to purchase and do their purchasing through small local minority sellers. So great opportunity for you.
Yeah, just an easy way to ease in.
Yeah.
Well, very good. Well, thank you, Lois. I really appreciate this presentation.
Thank
And
you.
for our next speaker, I'm going to kick it back over to Mackenzie, who's going to give a little kind of overview about AWS and the work they're doing to support small business. So bear with me here, Mackenzie. Sorry. Okay. So I think you should be able to put your PowerPoint up. Oh, that's cute. I like that. Your background.
Oh,
um,
give
for
you one
those that
moment
had a
here.
question, go ahead. And for those that had questions, I think Samantha, you had a question about the YouTube link. I will post that here momentarily once while Mackenzie's speaking, so you have that. And then we should be good to go. But without further ado, I'll kick it over to Mackenzie Cosset and talk about AWS.
Excellent. Are the slides visible? I'm not seeing them just yet.
Yes, yes, they are visible. I can see them.
Excellent. Well, good afternoon, thank you, or good morning, depending on where you are. My name is Mackenzie Kosid. I'm the Global Startup Advocate here at Amazon. And for the past 5 years, my goal has been, or job, has been to visit early stage businesses and startups and help teach them how they can leverage the AWS platform and technology we have, in addition to the wide number of programs that we've developed to help grow your business. I myself have helped build and grow a number of companies based in the New York City area, including Tumblr, Oscar Health, and Betterment. So I have a lot of experience across social media, healthcare life sciences, fintech, media, logistics, and more. And I'm just one of the many startup experts and business experts here at Amazon, really dedicated to helping learn about your company and ways we can help. A good primer to start is really what AWS is. And AWS is the cloud computing arm of Amazon. You know, we launched Amazon.com on the retail side back in 1994, and we learned very quickly how to build very scalable, fast, and reliable technology to support that website. We had a large number of people trying to buy on Amazon.com, and so we needed the tech to support that. Over the years, we realized that other businesses could also be leveraging the same technology. We thought, what if we took all our knowledge and experience, these services we've built to support our company, and offer them out to businesses around the world? And that's essentially the idea around AWS. Um, we looked at what was stopping a lot of our teams from developing a new idea or product, and we realized that people were duplicating their efforts. Everybody needed a server or a database or a way to search certain systems. And instead, we said, let's just standardize this and make it easy. So with a couple clicks of a button, anyone within our company could get access to those types of IT resources. And now today, businesses around the world are using AWS in many meaningful ways. To understand kind of what cloud computing is, I know cloud computing is a very generic term nowadays, but you can think of it as just an on-demand access to these types of resources. So if you need a website, you need a server, you need a database, any of these services, AWS makes it easy where in a couple clicks, you can spin one of these systems or services up, and it's a pay-as-you-go model, meaning historically, businesses would have to pay these long-term contracts, 1 or 3 year contracts to use these types of services. And we feel very against that. We like the idea that as a business, you should be trying new things. You should be able to spin up a new database or a new website somewhere and try it out. And if it doesn't work out, be able to click a button and stop using that service. So the way you can think of it being billed is much like electricity. You know, if you turn on a light switch in your house, you'll start getting charged by the minute or by the second. And when you flip that light switch off, you stop getting charged. And that's very similar to how we offer the wide range of services we have from an IT perspective. In fact, it's very likely that your business today is using one of many companies that are building on top of Amazon, whether it's Stripe using credit card payments, maybe you're using QuickBooks, maybe using Salesforce to manage your sales leads, or Bill.com to manage billing of your customers, maybe using Namely for your HR systems. These are just a few of the many companies who are building on top of AWS today. And the same benefits that they get by building Amazon, these benefits hold true regardless of the size of your business. And we'll talk more about that. I love the question that came after the last session about how things are really shifting. You know, how customers are looking for digital ways to engage with your business. And this couldn't be more true today. In fact, this quote from the slide came from 2017, before things started to change post-COVID. The reality is, you look at the numbers, you know, 65% of customers say that their website is a big deciding factor on whether or not they're going to recommend a company to somebody else. Likewise, you look at mobile adoption. By 2016, the data shows that 82% of consumers are turning to mobile apps. And even today with the Alexa device, you know, there's 1 out of every 5 homes has an Alexa device in it. People are using their voice now to book appointments, check balances, just interact with businesses. And these aren't just large corporations, these are small businesses around the US. And so there's no doubt the data shows that customers are looking for ways to interact with your business, regardless of what it is, and do it in a very contactless and digital way. And so how do you as a business start building these types of new interactions that your customers want? And that's really one of the big benefits of AWS. On this slide, we have so many different building blocks and services that the slide is probably blurry now to try to read on your screen. But each one of these services is an essential building block that help you build these types of digital interactions. This could be, of course, running a website in a much cheaper way, but it goes well beyond that. A good example of that is what we've seen from businesses is it used to be that the company that had the best tech had the biggest advantage. And today, it's really the businesses that are doing the most of the data who have the biggest advantage. These are companies who are looking at the buying habits of their customers. They're looking at what trends they're seeing, how holidays are changing the behavior of purchasing habits, or they're looking at all sorts of data that's being created. And that's a benefit of creating these digital interactions is you're creating all this data, but what are you doing with this to better understand how to engage with your customers? And we have a number of tools and services that help you kind of derive insights and take this data and really get meaning out of it. And I want to talk just about 3 of the 190 services we have. I don't want to take up all week talking about the stuff we have to offer, but here are 3 services that really spotlight the benefit of using these services. So, let me go back. So, in any business, forecasting is essential. Whether you are trying to acquire raw materials or goods, whether you're trying to understand resourcing or staffing needs in the future, whether you're trying to understand your product demand, who's buying what and where, and how much do you have to keep in inventory to support it. These are questions, regardless of your industry, that you face every day. And to do this really well gives your business an advantage. If you do poor forecasting, you might purchase too much of a product that you're not able to sell. You might overstaff when you don't need that many people working a particular route or shift. And so today, lots of businesses try to do this through very simple spreadsheets, or they use these kind of simple financial forecasts. But there's a lot of limitations to that. And an example of that is these may not take into account a lot of historical data, right? Your company might have been around for 5 years, but you're looking at just the past year. And so it's not using enough data to make an accurate prediction for the future. Or it's not taking a lot of this independent data that might really shed more insight on your sales. For example, perhaps weather impacts the usage of your service, your product, your company. Maybe a very simple example is a lemonade stand is going to be impacted in the rain, but does your data forecasting show that? Are you taking account for weather in it? Another one could be, we're always doing marketing. We're always trying to advertise. We're trying to do social media campaigns to drive traffic to our products and goods. Are you taking account of these campaigns into your forecasting and how it's changing things? And so internally at Amazon, that's something we really perfected over the years for the retail side of Amazon.com. And we said, let's release this as a service to all businesses. And so Amazon Forecast is a service we launched a year ago, and it works very simply. This graph might look a little complicated, but the concept is simple. You feed it this data, and the output is a forecast of how much product you should staff, how much staffing you should have on hand, and other forecast predictions similar to that. There's a company called Castle One out of San Francisco, and they do furniture rentals. So you can rent a couch for 3 months, or a chair, or a table. And they've used this to increase their accuracy by about 20%. They now know how much inventory to have on stock based on seasonal demand and changes around the country. So this is just one of the services that's very useful. Another one is, we don't necessarily get the opportunity to talk to our customers every day, to learn about their needs and start to make recommendations, to say, yeah, oh, you've liked this one or two particular products that we have, you may want to consider looking at this third product that we're launching, or this third product you may not have tried. Doing these types of personalized recommendations, which really understand your customer and make appropriate recommendations, is invaluable. But doing that on a one-to-one basis on phone calls and emails, it's very tough. It doesn't scale. And personalization is something that, again, on the retail side of Amazon.com, we've gotten really good at, and we wanted to share this technology out with everybody. And so Personalize gives you this capability. It allows you to feed in information about here are the buying habits or usage patterns of your customers. And let's start making better recommendations based on their previous choices. Customers who use this include Domino's. They use this to understand when is the right time to send an email or a text reminder that, hey, maybe you want a pizza. It understands that perhaps you as a personal buyer like to order pizza on a Friday around 7 p.m. or when it's certain weather outside that you tend to like to order a pizza. And so Domino's uses Personalize to make these types of recommendations. Likewise, on the product side, you have companies like Subway who use this in their app. So when you're building a sandwich, it says, oh, we've seen other people build similar sandwiches. Here are other toppings or ingredient combinations that you might also like. So imagine taking this capability and putting it into your app today to build that digital experience that we've been talking about. Of course, in order to do this, you need a way to reach your customers. And so the third and last service I'm going to talk about is Pinpoint. This is a multi-channel marketing communication service. Mouthful of words, but what that means is it's a way to get your message out through chat, through voice, through push notifications, through email, and there's lots of different ways you can interact with this. A really powerful feature of this is something that's called A/B testing. Let's say that you write a promotional email to get somebody to sign up for an upcoming launch of something new you're doing, and you're not really sure on the wording or the imagery to use for a particular email. Well, with A/B testing, you can provide Pinpoint with two different versions of that email, and it'll slowly test it with different groups of people within your customer base. It'll find between those two emails which one solicits a more positive response, and they'll start shifting to using the more popular email. So you can test the wording and your marketing and your approach. On top of that, you can do transactional type emails or notifications. So maybe somebody gives a phone call into your business and this will automatically trigger a follow-up email for you for next steps or to give additional information about your product or service. Pinpoint is extremely powerful, especially when you plug into tools like Forecast and Personalize. The reason why these three services and the other 190 services we have are so important is that it helps drive innovation within your business. And this ends up creating this real flywheel of innovation. So we talked about the zero upfront costs. We talked about not having contracts to use AWS. In fact, there's a free tier where you can use many of our services for free. And this isn't a 2-week trial. This is free for 1 year to play around with stuff. So this zero upfront cost means that we're seeing businesses try new things and because it's costing nothing and because they have access to these tools, they're able to launch these new initiatives much faster. A benefit of, or the outcome of having zero upfront costs and launching quicker is that we're seeing businesses create more experiments, right? If you look around at any industry today, they're all trying to find new ways to pivot how they're going to be engaging, whether it's curbside pickup, whether it's contactless payments, whether it's online ordering of some sort. Every business is trying to shift to figure out what works. And so the cheaper you can make this experiment, the cheaper it costs to launch this new idea and test it, the more likely it is you're going to find the right way that's going to connect and resonate with your customers. Ultimately, this whole flywheel leads to the most important thing. AWS enables you to really focus on building a product and building something that delights your customers and not spend time fiddling with infrastructure. You don't need teams of people, teams of developers to do this. We simplify it by giving you all these primitive building blocks to really take the biggest idea and tackle it with these simple services. A really great example I love of a company who, because they were using AWS, they were able to pivot so easily, is a company called Home Safe First, and they're based out of Missouri. Home Safe First was focused on safety, really around the educational system in schools. And they launched their product, and their primary customer was public schools. Well, when COVID hit, back in the very start of it, in early February, one of their customers, who was a principal at a school, reached out and said, hey, can we use your tool to start tracking people who are potentially sick within our school? So a very early form of contact tracing. Well, Home Safe First went back to their development team and said, hey, can we change our product and offer something new? Can we create this new revenue stream of an actual social good of being able to do contact tracing? And in a matter of 3 days, they were able to build out a prototype, which then went live. And this allows people to use their mobile app or website to go and say, hey, I'm feeling sick. These are the people I've interacted with. This is where I've been recently. They also were able to start using other services in AWS to launch even more capability. An example of that is a service we have called Amazon or AWS Connect. Connect lets you build really dynamic call trees. So you can call in, and using the same technology that's in the Alexa voice or Echo devices and Alexa voice service, talk to something that will triage you and say, well, what's your current care? Let's see if you need a follow-up. Let's see if a nurse has to call up and really triage your current situation. Let's find out more about where you've been and who you've interacted with. And I just love Trevor and his company's use case of, here they are, because they were building on a platform that gave them such agility, they were able to pivot in a completely new direction in a matter of a few days. And that's really highlights the power of building on top of AWS. You could host a website anywhere, but if you're building and hosting it on AWS, you're closer to all these tools and services that just open up the realm of possibility of what you could be doing with your business. AWS really, you probably look at this and think, well, that's great, but it probably sounds really expensive. And I mentioned the free tier. So there's actually no cost in using a lot of these services for the first year. But because of our pay for what you use model, it means, again, if you want to try something and it doesn't work for your business, you can turn it off. You're not stuck with that 1 or 3 or 5 year contract or commitment. So we encourage you to try stuff. Every service isn't right for every use case or every business, but we have teams of experts here to help you figure out if that use case is right and walk you through how to set up that service and how to prototype it. Secondly, because we've been doing this for well over 14 years, our economies of scale allow us to continually drive down our costs, meaning historically, we've actually lowered our costs 70 times on different services, meaning without having to do anything, our customers saw their bills end up getting reduced. And that's something we're constantly striving to do, is figure out how to drive these efficiencies into all of our operations so we can pass these savings on to you. The third is that we have a wide number of different pricing models. So every business has different needs. If you have a website, it's very likely that it's not busy between 2 and 4 a.m. So why are you paying a premium for running your website between 2 and 4 a.m.? So we have ways that will allow your spend to properly match the highs and lows of your traffic. You should only be paying for what you use. You shouldn't have to be paying full price if you have a low amount of volume. And so we have various pricing models that help you match depending on your needs. And lastly, the great thing is, as your business grows, a concern might be, well, it's going to get more and more expensive. But the reality is we have a lot of programs that will unlock a large number of cost savings as you continue to build and scale on us. So to kind of recap, in the traditional world of IT for business, there was a lot of upfront costs. There were people building data centers, and it wasn't uncommon to go into a business and see a server sitting underneath somebody's desk. It probably had a big sticker on it that said, careful, don't turn off. You might have seen light switches taped on the side of the wall saying, don't flip this switch, it'll turn off our accounting system. And then you typically had people on staff to take care of this and maintain the system, to do backups for it, make sure it's running, make sure it's not having kind of issues. You had to be signing long-term contracts, and ultimately this cost businesses a lot of money. It locked them into 1 or 3 year phases where they didn't have time or free resources to try new things, to experiment. In the new world of the cloud model, this no upfront cost as we saw, drives the innovation. It helps you try new things, experiment. It gives you that ability to have agility and to test new ideas, as we saw with Home Safe First. It allows you to scale up and scale down. So if your traffic starts going down during a season, maybe during the summertime, you're focused on school systems and your traffic's lower, it allows you to reduce your bills so you're not paying a premium. And ultimately, and I love the selfie stick image for this for this one last topic, it allows you to have a self-service infrastructure. It means that you and your company just click a button and have access to this stuff immediately. You don't need to make a phone call. You don't need to ask someone to set something up for you. You can click some buttons and have access to these tools and services to start playing with immediately. It's reasons like these, which is why there are millions of customers, and by customers, I mean businesses running on AWS today. This is everybody from Major League Baseball to, again, Intuit to BMW to New York Times to Coca-Cola, Disney, you name it. You can pick any image on here. But the same reasons, the same value props that exist for these large enterprises exist for your business. It's why startups overwhelmingly prefer to build on top of AWS also. And it's the same reason why small businesses are looking at AWS to help build those digital experiences and help build new ways to engage. There are plenty of startups that are, I'm sure, household names at this point that you recognize on here, like 23andMe, who did the DNA test, 125 different reports, Airbnb, who's just changed the way that we do hospitality and experience that, Glossier in the beauty industry. There's no limitation on the industry or vertical that where businesses are using AWS in a meaningful way. Now that's the tech, and I know that's a lot, but I'll sum up in a moment to go back on the tech. But I wanted to give a moment to also talk about some of the programs. You know, sometimes a business needs more than just the tech to get over that next hurdle. And we understand that because of all the companies and businesses we've worked with over the years. So the first program is Activate, and this is a program you should definitely be aware of, and there'll be an email address to reach out to learn more about. But this is a chance to get not just promotional credits. So after that first year of free services run out, Activate is a way to get access to additional amount of credits, up to $100,000 in free infrastructure credits, to start building and testing and doing new things for your business. On top of that, it gives you a business support plan, meaning there's somebody to call if you have issues or problems. And this is fully staffed 24 hours a day if you need a response. It gives you free training. So there's self-paced labs to learn more about our platform and more ways to think about taking these building blocks and using it to augment your current business. There's also additional marketing spotlight, meaning ways to be promoted through AWS marketing channels. There's office hours where you can talk to other customers and experts from AWS to ask all sorts of questions that go beyond just the technical. The next program is Marketplace. So there's a lot of companies who are building in the B2B space. They're selling a service to another business. And every day there are over 40,000 businesses that log into AWS Marketplace looking for a solution. Maybe it's around HR services, maybe it's an accounting offering or a financial solution they need. They turn to the Marketplace because this allows an easy way for customers to, with a single click, set up this product within their environment. And these are large enterprises, these are small, medium-sized businesses. They allow them to test and prototype these offerings easily using the Marketplace. Now, on the flip side, it means that maybe you want to be selling in the Marketplace. Well, we handle all the billing for you. We allow you to package up your product and offering and then put it in the Marketplace. And we'll take care of all the billing and invoicing. So you just collect a paycheck at the end of the month, and we'll handle all the deployment and management of that for our customers. There's two sides to that. If you need a service, AWS Marketplace is a great place to look at all the offerings and see the tens of thousands of offerings that are in there today. Or if you want to be selling in the Marketplace, it's a great program to be aware of. We learned a lot about Amazon retail and selling on the Marketplace. And there are a lot of companies out there who are building a physical product. And they want to know, well, how do I reach the millions of shoppers on Amazon.com today? But more importantly, how do I get an upper hand if I'm a small business? How do I get visibility and spotlight on my product when I'm just a small business and I have a small product? Well, Amazon Launchpad is an entire program that seeks out really innovative products that we can feature on our homepage. If you go to the Amazon.com, you'll see a whole section around Launchpad. In fact, one of my favorite sections on Launchpad is the Shark Tank feature, which allows you to filter by different products that the various sharks have invested in. So you can pick your favorite or least favorite shark and see their products based on that. But if you're building a product, a consumer good, this is a great program to be aware of that'll help get you promotion on Amazon.com, in addition to a lot of our marketing support through potential newsletters, holiday newsletters like wow, catalogs, and more. So Launchpad is great if you have a physical product. Uh, a big question you probably have right now is, yeah, these services sound great, and you say they're easy, but I just don't have the time to, or the technical expertise to really start using this platform. How do I get help? And so we have a large number of vetted partners. And these are people who have gone through all sorts of certification to make sure they really understand the value proposition of AWS. They understand how to understand your business needs and solve your challenges with the right technology that's cost effective, and will handle the scale as your business grows. And so the partner network is there, and I'll have an email address that you can reach out to so we can match you up with an appropriate partner. So if you're interested in learning and doing this on your own, if you have technical people who want to learn the AWS platform, great, let's get you started on the self-paced guides. But if you just want to work with somebody and get up and going quickly, much like Home Safe First, the partner network is a great way to shortcut through and get up and going very quickly. These slides, which are going to be available, have a number of resources here. Includes Activate, which again is a program that you should apply for and get access to credits and support. There's a partner network we talked about. Marketplace, which is where people are buying and selling their B2B services and offerings to other AWS customers. We have Launchpad, which is where you promote your physical product on Amazon.com. And if you're just curious on playing with AWS platform, the getting started link here is fantastic. It's short 5 to 10 minute tutorials on using all of our various services, so you can see how they work and see how you can start using these in a matter of minutes. I want to thank you for going through that and being with us today. But most importantly, I want you to write down this cloudstart@amazon.com email address. There are a lot of programs, there's a lot of technology we talked about, but I encourage you to email cloudstart@amazon.com. Let us know what your business is, what your challenges are today, what are you trying to build product-wise, and we'll take the time. We have solution architects who are technical experts within AWS, we have business experts, and we'll figure out the right partners to match you with, the right technology to point you to, and the right programs to provide you to give your business the best chance at pivoting in these challenging times. So again, thank you.
No, thank you so much, Mackenzie. This was absolutely wonderful. So I'm going to kick it back, and this is kind of to the end of the program here. But I had a few questions for you, Mackenzie. I really got excited when you talked about the three services. So Forecast, Personalize, and Pinpoint from Amazon. One of the things that we do in working with, we've been working with a lot of small businesses, helping them pivot. Sometimes these are more like typical, more traditional, like retailers or restaurants or that kind of thing. And so one of the times, what I talk a lot about businesses is that, data is kind of the new oil or new gold for your business. Having that data on how your customers interact with your business and how they purchase your products, how they go about finding you is extremely important, particularly when things are very uncertain. And so I guess one of the questions that kind of came through is like, how could like more of a traditional brick and mortar, like furniture dealer, for example, kind of use those three services to help maximize their business and help them pivot?
Yeah, I think there's multiple ways. So you take a furniture manufacturer, for example. There are typically going to be products that are in high demand during different seasons. So perhaps you have outdoor furniture and there's a demand, and you want to be building enough furniture where you can ship it from the factory immediately. And historically, businesses just go through using spreadsheets to say, well, 2 years ago, we sold 500. Last year, we sold 700 units. This year, it's safe to say we're going to be selling 900 units. Where this becomes challenging is you have situations like today in the summertime where because of COVID, there are a huge increase in hobby gardenists and people redoing their landscaping. So it's hard to predict that. But using tools like forecasts, you can constantly be feeding this data in. And so week by week, forecasts can look at that and say, we're seeing an increase over certain furniture requests that it's going to make a prediction that a month from now, our orders are actually going to be around 1,200. So it helps understand further up the supply chain, how many raw ingredient or raw materials to be ordering, how much people to be staffing to produce those goods. Second to that, you can then use Personalize to look at, well, what customers have purchased furniture in the past who are now purchasing this type of patio furniture in the future, and start to understand what are the buying habits, what does that profile of the person look like who's likely to purchase a new patio chair. And Personalize will be able to identify those recommendations for you and make those recommendations. So on the website, as they're shopping, it'll pop up that patio chair and say, hey, other people who have similar buying habits also like this, so you might like this. I'm sure if you've been on Amazon.com, you've been shopping and see something pop up and say, oh, this looks interesting. This is the same power that we can enable within your product or company. Now, lastly, you need a way to actually market that and say, okay, we know the demand, we know what to build because of forecast. It's telling us how much materials to buy. We know how much to build. We know who our person is, and now you can use Pinpoint to send out that targeting messaging. You can understand that particular people in Idaho like to shop at 4 o'clock on a Thursday, and you're more likely to get someone to add something to their cart if you send the email Thursday at 4 p.m. All of this sounds like little tiny nuances, but we're creatures of habits. We like to buy things at a certain time. We like to do things a certain way. And the more you can understand these nuances in people's buying habits or interests or personal tastes, the more we can use that data to curate it and provide that better experience.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. And I guess the other kind of a supplemental question to that is, a lot of times businesses, particularly small, they kind of wear a lot of hats. Many of the owners wear a lot of hats and do a lot of different things within their business to keep it going. Are these technologies kind of very simple user interface where it could be kind of a set and forget, and you can, kind of capture this data from your customers?
Yeah, I think the most important thing to know is we have teams of machine learning experts and deep learning experts at Amazon. And the reason why we built these services and release them to the public is we understand that not every business has that, right? And so we wanted to make these services available for people who don't have that machine learning expertise. So we try to make it as simple as possible. You bring your data, you set it up, and we'll constantly be deriving insights from it. Now, a secondary benefit to that is much larger companies might have built this themselves automatically or done this on their own, but now they have to have teams of people who are tweaking it and trying to make it more accurate for their forecasts or more accurate to pull this information out of the data. Well, our teams of machine learning experts are working on this. I was gonna say around the clock, but they're working on it 40, 50 hours a week. And so every time they find new ways to make it more accurate, they push it out to you automatically. You don't have to update anything. You don't have to change anything. You're constantly getting more accurate forecasting, more accurate personalizations automatically without having to log in or change anything.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, and I wanted to jump to the Amazon market or AWS marketplace, excuse me. So is this so if I'm a tech-enabled business and selling my service through AWS marketplace, does this also does it aid in government contracting, AWS marketplace?
It can, yes. I don't want to misspeak on that. We actually have a large number of government contracts, everyone from CIA and others, and there are also a lot of government agencies that we work with. In order to be in the marketplace, we actually go through a pretty big vetting process to make sure that that product is built to scale and works in an optimized way for customers who are deploying it. Now, the big advantage is when you're in the marketplace, here's the big difference is if you aren't in the marketplace, the way you have to go after those government contracts or you have to go to these large enterprises, you have to knock on the door, you have to email them, you have to set up a meeting, and you have to convince them to take the time to stand this up. And it can take weeks, months, sometimes years on these government contracts or other large enterprises. Well, the marketplace, your product is just sitting there. And when I say single click, I mean it's a single click deployment. If you have a product that is a B2B software offering, any government agency, any large enterprise can go and in a matter of minutes start using your product. So you could build marketing around it and reach out to these large companies and large government agencies and say, hey, we have this product. But the action item might not be, hey, set up a call with us and we'll send someone out to set the service up for you to test it. The call to action might not be, hey, download the software here and spend 3 days banging your head against it to figure out how to get it up and going. The call to action could say, go to our marketplace in a matter of a few minutes, have it up and going, try it out for free, and if you like it, buy a license and you'll be up and going. So it really does shorten the lead time on or the sales cycle for getting these services into the hands of customers.
And you in the AWS that you guys handle the kind of the invoicing and payment kind of transaction through that, right?
That is one of the most biggest, one of the biggest pain points for a lot of businesses who are doing B2B. They have this product and figuring out the licensing or how to charge or how to actually just calculate that and then send a bill each month. We take that all over. So it just simplifies the whole process. We also have various models and to do the billing. So maybe it's desktop software that you allow people to deploy within their company. Maybe it's a service that gets set up on a server somewhere to run, or maybe you have a SaaS offering. Maybe SaaS is the right business model for you. And all three of these are billing methodologies that we offer to help. We actually have a whole SaaS program if that's your area. And so again, reach out to CloudStart and we'll connect you to our SaaS business or SaaS program to help assist there.
Okay. And so, yeah, my final question is like, businesses interested in taking advantage, is that email cloudstart@amazon.com the best way to reach out, or?
Yeah, I think when you have this many programs and this many services, it can seem a little overwhelming. You can say, wow, there's 7 programs that can help me. There's 190 services. And you might be sitting there going, well, I don't know the right first place to spend my time or my resources. We understand that you're running a business. You're busy, you're answering the phones, you're managing staff. There's a lot going on. And so the best way to get started is if you email CloudStart, open up that conversation and dialogue with us. Tell us about your business, tell us about what's happening, and we will walk you through the appropriate next steps that make sense. We want to make sure that we're sending you to the right programs, the right tech that fit your needs. We don't want to be selling you something or having you use a service that isn't going to provide real value for your customers. And that's really what emailing CloudStart at email address will help us do is steer you in the right direction.
Okay, perfect. Well, Lois and Mackenzie, I thank you for your time, and Belinda, who's also on this call, who's our kind of our liaison with AWS and Amazon. Been a great resource working with you, and this is a great resource to the business community. We appreciate you sharing these tools with us. Every time it seems like when I talk to you guys, there's something new for small businesses, which is very exciting. So I really appreciate the time. For those on the call still, BizLaunch, we don't go away. We're still here. We're taking appointments through virtual or phone calls. We're really, trying to push out the information that's, helping businesses during these challenging times. And whether that's if you want to have a conversation on how to pivot, or you have other questions about your business, reach out to us. Our email address is listed on this page. schedule an appointment with either myself, Tara, or my colleague Lourdes, who's not able to join us. But we're here for your business. And we thank you for joining us today. And we thank you to our friends at AWS and Amazon Business, Lois and Mackenzie, thank you. Also to Belinda, who's really been really working in kind of the connector here. So we really appreciate all this. And on that note, we hope to see you at future programs, future webinars. Please take a moment if you're not getting our e-newsletter. That's really a great way to know what's going on. Just go to arlingtoneconomicdevelopment.com, and on the right you'll see how to sign up for our newsletter. So thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate it. We hope you all have a wonderful rest of the afternoon. Take care.